All right, everyone. I believe that Razorfist put it best when he said that there's nothing that the media likes more than an idol except for a fallen one. This definitely applies to Ellen Degenerate. What's happening over at Ellen HQ, and this is sort of like a human interest gossip story, but I mean, she weighs in on politics all the time, so it's just over the threshold where it's an intellectual enough subject for me to bother weighing in. Because, of course, I'm not going to watch Ellen dance around and be cringy. It's just not my bag. What's happened is that a bunch of employees, dozens of them, in fact, are alleging that over the last few years, there's been a systemic sort of abuse of employees at the show, like producers and stuff, fucking the employees, and people harassing each other, and various mistreatment of various kinds. Ellen literally having to make an apology publicly. And when a celebrity makes a public apology about what other people have been involved in, that usually coincides with a significant downturn in their career, to the point where, I mean, you know, her show's probably not pulling in quite as much in the ratings as before. So you're trying to tell me this. This is basically what she's alleging. She's alleging that a woman who runs a popular TV show who's worth $300 million fucking dollars didn't know that her producer and various managers were abusing employees. So in other words, what you're essentially admitting to is that you were unreachable by your own staff. That the little lower down people couldn't even shake Ellen's hand. Now this is actually common. A lot of these celebrities are like really closed off from the little people. They'll barely even talk to their manager or something like that. Like they only want to hang out with other rich people. And they live in a different town, so to speak. And they'd probably get coptered in on their private helicopter or something. They don't live, you know, among the little people that work for them. And so there's a disconnect. And the thing is, usually when they're first starting out, it's not that way. Usually when people are starting out and they get like their first big contract or something, because they're usually not coming from fantastic wealth and fame and power to begin with, because usually they've worked in some capacity to get where they are, all of a sudden, all that glitz and shine and you know, sparkling diamonds and stuff sort of gets to them really quickly and corrupts them. So I think that's probably what we're seeing here. And I think that it's funny because Ellen DeGeneres is like a big-time Trump derangement syndrome far leftist, like the take the knee style left, like the cuck left. And so to see her get some comeuppance, it always seems inevitably the people that are always talking about decency, treating the little people with respect, workers' rights, wipe out sexual harassment. Why is it that every single fucking goddamn time one of these self-righteous whining morons goes on these diatribes for years, it turns out that during the same period their employees are being abused? I wonder how many employees at other TV shows are suffering the same fate for some of these people. Maybe Kimmel's staff will have some complaints in the future. And it's always like later on in their career too. It's like, it's never like it starts happening, someone complains and they get taken down a notch. Usually if they complain to HR, they just get, you know, brushed aside anyway. Oh, you know, you're just a whiner. Ah, bye, you're fired, so to speak. It's interesting to see this sort of thing happen. But literally dozens. I mean, it'd be one thing if you're like, okay, an employee came forward, you know, the manager was touching your knee and, you know, tried to finger like Biden did that time. But that would be one thing. And then Ellen could like say, oh, you know, fuck, well, I guess I have to fire my manager. But when it appears to be a culture, a general atmosphere permeating the whole show, you're alleging that Ellen had no knowledge of this. I mean, it's obviously a cover piece. Of course she knew what was going on. This is just her way of trying to cover her ass. But will the audience of a show like the Ellen Degenerate show actually believe that? Or will she end up, as a female and as LGBT, by the way, will she end up hashtag Me Too'd? This has sporadically happened to females. It's like 99% males that get like sort of Me Too'd and deplatformed out of their careers. Sometimes spuriously, by the way. In her case, though, that's an awful lot of allegations against multiple people within the industry that Ellen was acutely aware of. Oh, I didn't know. If I had known, I would have done things differently. I'm sorry that I wasn't more reachable. Well, yeah, you're supposed to talk to your staff occasionally. You know, does she even give them a card on Christmas? Probably not. That's about all. Peace out.